Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bill Stern speaking direct from Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. In just a few minutes, we'll bring you a play-by-play description of the football game between Texas and Notre Dame. At the moment, Texas is ranked number 3 in the nation, while Notre Dame, for the first time in many a years, so early in the season, is not ranked in the first 10. At the moment, they're ranked 18th. The Texas Longhorns have come out from underneath the west stands, and they are getting a tremendous ovation, as you can well hear, in this jam-packed stadium. It's packed to capacity, better than 60,000 people in attendance, and that's all the stadium will hold, and you couldn't borrow, beg, or buy a ticket. So if you're listening, sit back and relax, and we'll be set to go with a kickoff in just a moment. Doug Cameron, and he's a Scotch boy. Here goes the kickoff, incidentally, and Gib Dawson. The ball goes back to Billy Quinn. Billy takes it on the 20s up to the 25, and he's knocked down on the 31-yard line. Knocked down on the 31. It's Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. It's Texas ball, 1st and 10. Notre Dame has just kicked off. The game has just gotten underway at Austin, Texas. Right down is T. Jones behind his center. A split T formation behind a balanced line. University of Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 30. It's a handoff this time. It goes to Dick Ochoa. And he's the captain of the Texas team offensively. And Ochoa, it's pronounced. And he goes to the 33 for a match make at the 34. A gain of 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. He's pulled down by Bob Reddy. It's a regular T this time for Texas. 2nd and 7. A fake handoff by Jones. He gave it to Ochoa, and he drives past the 30 to 5 to about the 36. Picked up about 2 more yards. And so it's going to be 3rd and about 5. The center of the Notre Dame line defensively is Jack Lee. Right tackle Bob Reddy. Right end Bob O'Neill. Backing up the line, it's a 6-3-2-1 defense. 5-3-2-1 defense. 3rd and 5 for Texas. Just started the ball game. They're finding trouble getting going. A flip pass to Gib Dawson. Dawson is dragged down on the 36-yard line. A beautiful tackle by Bob O'Neill, who tailed that play around. And he got Gib Dawson. And Dawson looked like he was on his way. He looked like he was going to come right up the field. O'Neill trailed the play right around. He is the right end, and the play came around the left end, so he followed it all the way around. And he pulled that one down right on the line of scrimmage, so there was no gain. It is 4th and now. Bob Raley comes in for Texas to do the punting. Mr. Dawson went on his way. Raley getting ready to kick. Reynolds is back for Notre Dame. Dawson boots it. He's waiting to take it. Joe Head is also back there. Ball goes out of bounds. Joe Heath. Ball is out of bounds on the Notre Dame, let's call it the 28. Between the 27 and the 28. It's just about splits between the 25 and the 30-yard line. Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10. In comes the offensive alignment for the Fighting Irish. With the ends out wide, Guglielmi back, Heap way out to the right. A quick opening handoff this time with Guglielmi handing it off to John Latner. Latner goes from the, let's call it the 28 to about the 34-yard line before he's brought down. A gain of a good 6 or 7 yards. Both are 5-3-2-1. Both throwing a 5-3-2-1 at each other. Notre Dame again with almost a split T. It's a wing T. They've got one of the men out of the T way out to the right. It's Joe Heap. It is a quick handoff this time to Neil Warden, and Warden drives almost for a first down. As a matter of fact, he may have gotten a first down. He drives to about the 38-yard line, and I think that is. It's a first down for the Fighting Irish. Kyle Massey, the right end, puts it down. Defensively for Texas, it's Billy Georges, Don Miller, Hanley Sewell, Cliff Polk, Carl Massey up on the line. Those are the 5 from left to right. Backing up the line are Hub Ingram, Jim Rosser, Jack Barton. The wingbacks are Gil Spring and Bob Raley, and the safety is Bill White. He takes it, getting ready to throw a flip pass. He does. Back to Johnny Latmer, and Latmer is thrown out of bounds on the 39-yard line. I don't think he gained more than a foot or 2. A flip. Guglielmi to Latmer. Billy White, who was playing safety, came all the way up to knock him out of bounds. So it'll be 2nd and 9.5. No score. First period of the game from Austin, Texas. Waiting for the pass from center. There's Guglielmi back to throw a forward pass. He looks for Latmer, throws it over his head. Johnny Latmer was standing out there waiting for it, and the pass was too long. Latmer was up in the middle of the field on a 50-yard line. Hub Ingram was standing right next to him. Johnny Latmer out of Chicago, Illinois. Standing, not by himself. He was going down the field, but it was much too high. So it is 3rd down, 9.5 yards to go. And Ralph Guglielmi is facing Notre Dame. They don't go back into a huddle as do most teams. They go back into 2 lines with a quarterback with his back to the line of scrimmage and the 2 lines facing the quarterback. In other words, they're facing the line of scrimmage. Guglielmi back to throw a forward pass. He throws a spot pass and it's completed to Joe Heath. Heath takes it on the 40, gets away from one man, and he's powered down to the ground on the 43 by Harley Sewell, center defensively for Texas. I think there's an injury on that play. It's a Texan that's injured. A fumble ball, and it's recovered by Texas. There is also an injury, and Texas recovers on the Notre Dame 44-yard line. Guglielmi's screen pass intended for Heap. It was thrown over to Heap. Heap couldn't get the ball. Sewell did. He is the defensive center for Texas. And I believe it is Jack Barton who is injured. Barton of Texas. He is the defensive right halfback for Texas. Whipped Notre Dame on the only game his alma mater ever lost on an opening day. Great stories on that boy. Great man. Lost his life at Iwo Jima. Carrying the ball right now is Gib Dawson. He's driven out of bounds on the 41-yard line. Texas down to the Notre Dame 41. They just recovered a fumble and took over. I didn't mean to hurry that dissertation on Chev, and I didn't want it to get in the way of the ball game, but it's such a great story. He took Texas back and beat Notre Dame 7-6. I think it's the only opening game that Notre Dame ever lost. And then he himself lost his life for his country at Iwo Jima. T. Jones quarterbacking the Texas Longhorns as they had the ball down on the Notre Dame 41-yard line. He gives it to Jimmy Pace. Jimmy goes down to the 30-yard line, all the way to the 30 for the first down that Texas has run off this afternoon. And he's finally pulled down by Jack Whalen of Notre Dame. And Texas drives down to the Notre Dame 29.5-yard line. Jimmy Pace, 20-year-old, 5'9", 180-pounder. He's a little scat back. Runs off the right side of the Texas tee. Notre Dame digging in to stop him. Texas on the march down on the Notre Dame 29-yard line. 1st and 10. That was a first down they just reeled off. A quick opening play. Jimmy Pace again, but Notre Dame is all set for it. They stop him on the 28. Jack Alessandrini and Jack Lee, center of the Notre Dame line defensively. That is the man who backs up the center and Notre Dame center. Stop it after a gain of 1 yard. West Virginia 7, Waynesburg nothing. Let's get back to this one. T. Jones quarterbacking Texas out of the tee. A lot of tees. T. Jones flips it back this time to Dawson. Dawson to Pace. Pace going wide around the left side of the line, and he's brought down on about the 26. Jack Lee, a Massachusetts boy from Medford, Massachusetts, backing up the Notre Dame line defensively, playing in the center. Bring him down. Jack Lee brought down Jimmy Pace. Another first period score. Wisconsin 6, Illinois nothing. T. Jones right down the quarterback slot. Look out for a pass. T. Jones back. He's going to throw it. Got his arm back there with a long Texas pass down the field, and it's no good. Jones throwing goes all the way down to the 10-yard line. Was intended for Tom Stolansky. Stolansky was down about on the 13, and the ball went down to the 10. Incomplete. Score is 0-0. We have 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played in the first period. So they're going to do. He punts for the coffin corner. Did he or didn't he? It looks like it's going down. It downs down on the 10. It starts back to the 15. Notre Dame gets it on the 17-yard line. So actually on that, the ball hit on the 10 and then started bounding back up the field. So actually, since they had the ball on the 26, and it is now Notre Dame's ball on their own 16, they only picked up 10 yards on that kick. It's a wing tee with a man way out to the right this time. And it is Bobby Joseph who's out wide. It's a quick opening play this time with John Latner carrying the ball. Latner goes through the right side, and he went through to about the 20-yard line. He is brought down by Harley Sewell and Don Miller. Two right halfbacks in, but they got one naturally in at left half, if you can follow that. Two normal right halfbacks, one playing left. A quick opening play this time. It goes back to to Bob Joseph. As they untangle, it's Bob Eriks. We get it right. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Bob Eriks in at fullback. Carry the ball. He is in at fullback in place of Neil Warden. This time is Eriks. As a matter of fact, that's Warden wearing 44. There's a fumble. There's a fumble back on the 21-yard line. There's a fumble back on the 21. Let's see who recovered that one. Ralph Guglielmi is in the fall on it for Notre Dame, but he's not fast enough. Jim Rosser and Jack Barton are in for Texas, and Texas takes over Notre Dame 22-yard line. Texas takes over on the Notre Dame 22-yard line. Jimmy Pace way out to the right. Texas ball. 1st and 10 on the Notre Dame 22. A quick opening play goes back to the fullback. Ochoa. He moves from the 20 to the 17-yard line. Or rather from the 22 down to about the 18-yard line. Again, 4 yards. Jack Whalen brings him down for Notre Dame. It'll be second in between 6 and 7. Regular T formation for Texas. They're out of it very quickly. A quick opening play this time with Gib Dawson carrying the ball. He may have gained 1 yard. He didn't gain any more. Bob Reddy stopped him. Brings the ball down to the 17-yard line. A gain of 1 yard. It's 3rd and 5.
Dawson with the ball carrier.
Notre Dame's defense hasn't changed since the game began. The backs go back almost to the 7-yard line, smelling that this could be a pass coming up or sensing it. Jones in the quarterback slot. He flips it back this time to Jimmy Pace. Pace goes around the left side of the line and is dragged down on about the 13-yard line. He's dragged down by Al Kohanowicz. Brings him down on the 13, and it's 4th and 1. Well, let's call it 1.5. Of the 6, he picked up 4.5. Yard and a half to go. This can be a very important play. T. Jones calling these signals. Waits to get the ball. Gets it. There's a fumble. There's a fumble, and the ball is rolling around crazily on the 16-yard line, and I think it's Notre Dame's ball. It is. Notre Dame recovers. They would have taken over anyways. A fumble. The ball was intended to be flipped back from Jones to Ochoa. It never reached Ochoa, and it's Notre Dame's ball. Twice they have stopped Texas inside the 20-yard line. Kohanowicz recovered for Notre Dame. Notre Dame takes over. The Fighting Irish playing doggedly, determinedly. Let's see, their quarterback is Ralph Guglielmi. Their fullback is Neil Warden. Right half is John Latner, and the left half is Joe Heap. 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining to be played in the first period. Wide open formation this time with Latner carrying the ball. He goes from about the 16 up to the 19. I believe there's an offside penalty on the play. There's a flag on the play at least.
Notre Dame was
illegally in motion. Backfield man illegally in motion. It is refused, and the reason for that is while it would entail a 5-yard penalty, it would give Notre Dame another down. Notre Dame has the ball. They're trying to move from deep down in their own territory. Neil Warden gets to about the 19-yard line, and he's brought down just shy of the Notre Dame 20-yard line by Jack Barton. That brings, he picked up about 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7.
Emergency, come to the press box.
Gee, this is really a page out of American history. Not that this is making football history, but to see these college settings with these tremendous stadiums filled to capacity, as they always are when the Fighting Irish come in town. Texas and Notre Dame. Looks like it's going to be a quick kick. It is, and it was Latner who booted it. He boots it up the field. It bounds out of bounds on the Texas 40, let's call it the somewhere in the neighborhood of the 48-yard line. So Notre Dame, after twice taking the ball away from Texas inside their own 20-yard line, boots it up, and it's now back in Texas territory. Texas ball on their own 49, and the Longhorns take over. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first period. Scores Texas nothing, Notre Dame nothing. Neither team has been able to put on a sustained drive. Texas running out of an orthodox tee. Here's a quick opening play. The ball goes to Gib Dawson, and Dawson is dragged down by Sam Palumbo after he crosses the midfield stripe, works the ball into Notre Dame territory, and is dragged down on the Irish 48-yard line. Again, at 3 yards, it'll be 2nd and 7.
Palumbo made the tackle.
Notre Dame, as you know, tied Pennsylvania a week ago, while Texas has beaten Louisiana State and North Carolina, both by one-sided scores. Texas into their tee. It's going to be a forward pass with Jones back to throw it. He throws it high in the air, and it's not good. It is not good. Carabine knocks the ball down as Tom Stolansky went high into the air. Looked like he had it in his hands just as he was hit by Gene Carabine, and the ball goes for an incomplete forward pass. Stolansky, 6'2", 21 years old, 210, heavy for an end, but a fast man for Texas, went high into the air on the Notre Dame 43. Looked like he had it. Carabine hit him just as he caught it, and the ball went slithering out of his hands. Incomplete forward pass. Gib Dawson out to the right. Jones in the middle of that tee, right down the quarterback slot. He's over to throw a forward pass, and it's completed down to the Notre Dame 40. It's taken by Carlton Massey. Massey is caught by Kohanowicz, and Kohanowicz brings him down on the 39-yard line, and that is successful, and I believe it is. It's a first down for Texas. Texas had the first down on the Notre Dame 39-yard line. T. Jones throwing a spot pass. Gil Spring comes in at left end, taking the place of Carlton Massey, who just caught the ball. Jimmy Pace out to the right. That's the second first down that Texas has made today. Notre Dame has made one. Only about 3.5 minutes remaining in the first period. No score as yet. Texas nothing, Notre Dame nothing. It's a handoff to Dick Ochoa. He goes to the 36-yard line before he's brought down by Jack Alessandrini and Jack Lee. Ochoa of Laredo, Texas. And he is brought down on the 36, so it's 2nd and 7, a gain of 3 yards. No score, and the first period is drawing to a close. We're in the closing moments right now. Just a little bit better than 3 minutes of playing time remaining. Score is Texas nothing, Notre Dame nothing, and a jam-packed stadium at Austin, Texas. 60,000 eyes watching these people. The Texans give it to Jimmy Pace. Pace runs to the 35. He's brought down by Jack Lee, who's playing a whale of a game defensively for Notre Dame. And still leaves a good 5 yards to be gained. It is third and better than 5.5, a gain of about 1 yard on that play. Notre Dame's defense is still 5, 3, 2, 1. All right, it is Jones back to throw a pass for Texas. They're to the long one down the field. It's completed down to the Notre Dame 19-yard line. It's taken by Tom Stolansky on the 19. He's brought down by Dave Flood. Whalen bringing down. It's Texas ball, 1st and 10 on the 18-yard line. Texas goes down to the Notre Dame 18.
Pass from Jones to Stolansky. Flood and Whalen made the tackle.
Time is called, ladies and gentlemen. Time is called. Notre Dame asks for timeout. It's timeout in the game at the Memorial Stadium, and the score is Texas nothing, Notre Dame nothing. We got about 2 minutes of playing time remaining in the first period, and this is the third time Texas has threatened in this first period. They got the ball down on the Notre Dame 18-yard line. The Fighting Irish have stopped them twice before. Will they do it again? Jones down in the quarterback slot now, the T formation. Jones hands it off this time to Jimmy Pace. Pace is dragged down as he reaches the 17-yard line. He went from the 19, or let's call it the 18, to the 17, a gain of about 1 yard. Paul Mance, Jack Lee, Bob Reddy all brought him down. Ball is resting on a 17, and as has been Notre Dame's custom, they stiffen once Texas gets inside their 20. Jones down. He's got the team in the regular T now. Actually, it's a little bit wider. It looks almost like a split T. It's Jones back to throw a forward pass. No interference out in front of it. It's completed. Kip Dawson takes it on the 10. He's knocked out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
That pass was from Jones to Dawson. Flood ran out of bounds just inside the 5-yard line. The ball is resting about 2 feet inside of the 5-yard line.
Texas throws. T. Jones tosses it. And it's complete to Kip Dawson on the 10, and he works his way to the 5 before Dave Flood can bring him down. And it's Texas ball, 1st and goal to go. And I think, again, Notre Dame has asked for timeout. They won't hold it. No, they haven't. 2 minutes remaining in the first period. Ball is handed off this time to Dick Ochoa. He drives down to the 3-yard line. He is stopped on the 3. Ochoa takes the ball, and the entire center of the Notre Dame line gang up on him on the 3-yard line. Palumbo, Lee, and Reddy. So it is going to be 2nd down, 3 yards, goal to go. Ball is resting on the Notre Dame 3-yard line. A tremendously excited crowd in Austin, Texas, watching this. 2.5-yard line. Texas as deep as they've been all day. There's only 55 seconds remaining in the first period right now. Jones calling these signals of a T formation. Notre Dame's got an 8-man line to throw at him. It's a quick flip pass. It's back to Dawson. Dawson going on the left side of the line. He fumbles the ball, and Notre Dame recovers. Notre Dame has recovered on their own 5.
Dawson is the ball carrier. Calhoun recovered for the Irish on their own 6-yard line.
Kip Dawson fumbles for for Texas on the 5. And Gene Carabine came in and recovered for Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 5-yard line. And for the 3rd time today, the Fighting Irish, with their back to the wall, have stood off a vaunted Texas offense. And Texas now goes onto the defense, Notre Dame onto the offense, with only 40 seconds remaining to be played in the first period. Gee, it didn't seem like anything could stop Texas down there. They were moving majestically, and Notre Dame couldn't stop them. Then that fumble thwarted Texas. Notre Dame into a split T. Tom Carey calling the signals this time. Gives the ball to John Latner. Latner drives from about the 5.5 up to, let's call it the 9. Closer to the 8, I believe. Don Miller brings him down. Maybe time for one more play in this period. I doubt it, though. There's about 10 seconds remaining. Depends on how fast Carey gets his team away. He's a Chicago, Illinois boy. He's quarterbacking the team. No, it's Ralph Guglielmi who's back in at quarterback right now. There is the end of the first period, ladies and gentlemen. The end of the first quarter, and the score is Texas nothing, Notre Dame nothing. All right, Notre Dame out of the huddle very quickly. It's their ball now, 2nd and about 7. And a quick flip pass back this time to Latner, and he is not dragged down until he gets across the 10-yard line. He's dragged down on about the 11. Harley Sewell brings him down, and Notre Dame is trying determinedly, doggedly, to work that ball out of the shadow of their own goal line. And we can use that old cliche, the shadow of their own goal line, because today there is a sun and there is a shadow. However, the shadow's going in the wrong direction. To get in the shadow of their own goal line, they have to go back and play on the cinder path, which goes outside the football stadium. Looks like it's going to be it was a fake quick kick this time. It was a fake quick with Warden going all the way back to the goal line, and there's a flag on that play. Instead of Warden getting the ball for a kick, Guglielmi tried a quarterback sneak, and he moved it up to about the 14-yard line where Don Miller stopped him. Seems funny to say Don Miller stopped a Notre Dame man. Don Miller, another Don Miller, as you well know, was one of the immortals of the Four Horsemen. Notre Dame battling for their very lives on their goal line. Hands the ball this time. Guglielmi on a quarterback sneak. It would be third down, and he would have had to go about 14 yards because, remember, they just got a 15-yard penalty. And Guglielmi took it from the 1 to about the 2. And in comes their kicker, Johnny Latner, for Notre Dame. Oh, he's passing back, and Johnny Latner is back to kick. Latner gets a nice one up the field. Waiting to take it is Raley and Ingram. Raley gets the ball on the 50. He's back to the 45. He's back to the 40, and he's hit out of bounds. A beautiful block. Wow. Man, if you ever saw a ship hit another ship, head on. That's the way these two boys came. Ingram carried the ball, and he was driven out on the 38-yard line. Fran Patero hit him out of bounds. And hit him is the understatement of the year. He undermined him. Hit him right amidship, and he did the nicest cartwheel, head over heels, but he held on to the ball. Ball is resting on the Notre Dame 38. It's Texas ball, 1st and 10. Once again, the Longhorns go on to the attack in Notre Dame territory. Jones back in at quarterback. Jones hands the ball off to Jimmy Pace. Pace gets to about the 35-yard line before he's brought down. He ran from the 37 to the 35. Bob Reddy brought him down. Here's a first half score. Princeton 61, Rutgers 6. Can I make a very bad joke? Those two schools started football some 76 or 77 years ago, and according to that score, I think Rutgers is a little sorry. Princeton 61, Rutgers 6, first half. Back to this ball game. Texas on the march this time. A flip pass followed by a forward, and it's completed. It's Pace who throws, and he throws to Dawson, and Dawson takes it on a Notre Dame 20. It was T. Jones on a flip to Jimmy Pace. Pace on a forward to give Dawson, and Dawson took it on a Notre Dame 20 where he was hit by Jack Whalen. I'll go back and set it up for you again. That was a real play. T. Jones, quarterbacking the Texas team, flipped it on a basketball pass to the right halfback, Jimmy Pace, who faded back and threw a forward pass to the left halfback, Gib Dawson, who was hit down on the Texas 20 by Jack Whalen, the left halfback of Notre Dame. It's 1st and 10 for Texas again. And once again, they're down on the Notre Dame 20-yard line. This is their 4th time this afternoon. A handoff this time through the center of the line goes Jack Ochoa. And he goes down to the 17-yard line. Ochoa, and he is stopped on the 16-yard line by Reddy, Lee, and Palumbo. Here's a first half score. Yale 7, Brown nothing. That's a first half score. Here's another first half score. VMI 21, Richmond nothing. Texas, for the 4th time this afternoon, are down inside the Notre Dame 20-yard line. Jones quarterbacking the club out of a straight tee. Takes it, fades back to throw a forward pass. One of his own men gets in his way. He throws it down, and it is completed by Gib Dawson. Dawson takes it down on the 15. He goes to the 13-yard line where Dan Shannon hits him. Shannon was the man who made the defensive tackle and brought the ball carrier down, the receiver down on the 13, between the 12 and the 13. Notre Dame digging in as they have all afternoon long. The Irish have not been out of trouble once this afternoon. We have 12 more minutes to play in the first half of the football game. It is third down, about 3 yards to go. Texas on the Notre Dame 12-yard line. Jones calling the signals out of a T formation. A straight line play with Dick Ochoa carrying the ball, and he almost goes for a first down. He's finally stopped on the 10. He may have missed that first down by less than a yard. Jack Alessandrini. Ochoa going down to the 9.5-yard line, and they may bring the line sticks in and measure this one. Time is called while they measure for a first down. They're bringing in the line sticks. We pause 10 seconds for station identification. Texas has threatened 4 times. They've been inside the Notre Dame 20-yard line. This is the 4th. They haven't made it yet. It's a 0-0 game. So far, we're in the second period. Jones handing the ball off to Gib Dawson. Dawson is dragged down to earth as he reaches the 7-yard line. by Kohanowicz and Bob O'Neill.
Dawson's the ball carrier.
Dawson carries to between the 7 and the 8, 7.5. And that ball is midway between the sideline stripes. It is second down, about 8 yards to go. Goal to go. Texas ball. Every time Notre Dame has stopped them right down on their goal line. They've let the Texans get inside their 20. The furthest they've gone, they reached the 5-yard line on one series of play and then fumbled. Texas did. All right, Jones calling the signals. A regular tee this time, a balance line. Jones takes the ball, flips it back to Dawson. Dawson throws a forward pass down onto the goal line, and it's not good. Carabine knocked the ball down. It was intended for Carlton Massey. Right on the goal line, incomplete.
One was intended for Stolhansky.
Stolhansky and Massey were both down there.
Carabine made the tackle.
And it was not good. So it is third. Goal to go. Texas ball on the Notre Dame 8-yard line. The Irish haven't been out of trouble once this afternoon. And once again, they've got their backs to the wall. Fighting for their very lives. The score is 0-0. They have stopped a great Texas team 4 times inside their own 20-yard line. Texas has penetrated as deeply as the 5. They're on the 7 right now. Third down, goal to go. Jones quarterbacking out of a T formation. Jones throws over, spot pass right down to the 2-yard line. It's taken by Tom Stolansky. On the 3, the referee says. Dan Shannon stops him. And his may be the playoff play. The playoff play is coming up. It is 4th down, goal to go. Stolansky caught that pass, a spot pass thrown by Jones, and Texas may be going to try a field goal. Bunny Andrews is coming in. Bunny Andrews out of Dallas, Texas, a 21-year-old lad. Who stands 5'10", 170 yards, 170 pounds. He has to kick from a very slight angle. Gib Dawson will hold. Andrews will hold, and Dawson will kick. We have 10 more minutes of playing time remaining in the second period. The score is Texas 0, Notre Dame 0. May try for the field goal. They're going to go for a field goal. The ball is up in the air. It is good. Gib Dawson booted it. He booted from the 19. So it was a 29-yard field goal. And it puts Texas out in front 3-0. They lead. They haven't had rain for a long, long time, and Texas as a state has felt this drought. All right, Anglin holds his hand up for Texas. He says, I'm ready. Boys are all ready to go. He comes forward. He boots it. End over end. It's a beauty. It's going back to the Notre Dame into the end zone. Neil Warden lets it go into the end zone and out of the rear of the end zone, so it's an automatic touchback. Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10. Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. You know, in all the years that I have been broadcasting, I have never seen Notre Dame spend the entire first half of any ball game in their own half, of the playing field. Of course, the second half is not over by any manner of means. They've got another 10 minutes to play, or 9 minutes and 30 seconds. But let it be said, to the everlasting credit of the Irish, they were good enough to repulse Texas 4 times inside their 20th, and let it be said for the everlasting strength of the Texans that they finally did score when they couldn't go through the ground, over the ground. They threw it through the air. A long forward pass attempted this time by Guglielmi to Latner. Latner is out wide, but the ball sails harmlessly over his head, incomplete. Texas 4 times tried to score on Notre Dame. Each time they drive way deep into Notre Dame territory, and once they fumbled. Twice they had to give the ball up on downs. And when they found that the going got too rough, they reverted finally to a field goal and converted that to lead by 3 points. And that's the only score in the ball game so far. Guglielmi back to throw for Notre Dame. He throws a long one, and it's not good. Guglielmi intending for Art Hunter. Hunter sprawls flat on his back, trying to reach out for it, rather on his stomach. It is not good. Notre Dame taking to the air, and you realize, of course, what can happen. They're throwing passes in their own 10-yard line, 1 interception and a run back for a touchdown, and Texas has got a pretty commanding lead, so they're willing to gamble. Notre Dame gambling deep in their own territory. They want to pull this one out if they possibly can. It's only 3-0 against them, and a touchdown would put them out in front. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. 2 incomplete forward passes. The Irish gambling in their own 20, on the 20-yard line, in the danger zone. The wingbacks are out wide, both the halfbacks. Guglielmi is deep. He's going to throw another one. He throws it from the 5-yard line. It's going up the field, and it's not good. Intended for Johnny Latner, and it's too low. Latner was standing on the 30, and the ball bounded at his shoe tops. Bill George's left end went in and rushed the play. Incomplete. So Notre Dame elects to gamble on 3 forward passes, doesn't complete any one of the 3, but throws them safely away from the oncoming Texans. So does Notre Dame's ball, 4th and 10 on their own 20. And John Latner will probably kick, and Schrader will pass back to him. Latner goes back on the 5. He's standing 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He'll boot from about the 8 or 9. Raley is deep, and so's Ingram. He takes a good kick at that one. Up the field it comes. Waiting to take it is Ingram. He takes it on the 50, gets away from one man, keeps on his feet, gets away from another, and he's finally hauled down on the 47-yard line. And once again, it's Texas ball in the Notre Dame territory. Notre Dame tried 3 passes, couldn't complete any of them, is forced to punt. The ball comes up the middle of the field at just about the 50-yard line, where Texas, Mr. Ingram, runs it back to the 46.5.
The ball is on Notre Dame.
So we now have 9 minutes of playing time remaining in the first half of the football game. Texas leads 3-0, and they have the ball down on the Notre Dame 46. Paul Ernie comes in at left guard, replacing Harley Sewell for Texas. Jones carrying. He's back to throw a pass for Texas. There goes a long pass down the field, and it is not good. She was almost intercepted. Gib Dawson was the man that was intended for. Al Kohanovich out of Hempstead, New York, went way up in the air for that one. Looked like he had it. He came down to the ground without it. That would have been an interception. He is the defensive right halfback for Notre Dame. Incomplete. So Texas takes to the air. Game, a 3-0 game. Both of them would like to get a touchdown. Goes without saying. Balanced line, regular T formation for Texas. And it's Jones back to throw again. Looks for his man, and it's almost intercepted once again. He throws it way down the field for Tom Stolansky, all the way down to the 30-yard line. Jack Alessandrini, backing up the center of the Notre Dame line, again goes high into the air. Looks like he has it in his hands and then lets it trickle out. So it again looked like a Notre Dame interception. Doesn't turn out to be that. That's 5 forward passes in a row, 3 by Notre Dame, 2 by Texas, all 5 incomplete. 8 minutes and 40 seconds remaining to be played in the first half, and the score is Texas 3, Notre Dame nothing. Regulation T for Texas, with T. Jones right down behind the center, and the defense deep because they think Mr. Jones is going to pass, and he is. He throws it down the field to the 35, where it's caught down there. I believe it goes to Tom Stolansky. He takes it on the 35, and Carabine and Whalen bring him down, and they may measure that to see whether that is or is not a first down. I believe they have missed a first down by, less than a foot. Let's see. They're bringing in the line sticks. We'll let you decide whether they make it or not. If you hear a tremendous yell go up, you know they did. Now listen closely. They did not. Did you hear the oh? Oh, they went like that. Missed it by inches. Every Texan says the line's too long. Missed it by inches, so it's 4th and inches to go. And Texas is going to gamble on this one. It is a line plunge with Jones right into the center of the line, and I believe he went for a first down. Palumbo and Lee stopped him, but not before he'd gone about 1 yard, and since they needed less than a foot, I believe that is a first down. Now let's listen. If you hear a terrific yell go up, then you'll know it is a first down. They may bring the line sticks in and measure this one again. The very partial crowd, as you might well expect now. They're measuring right now, so I'm going to quiet down. Do I need to tell you? They made it. Texas has made a first down on the Notre Dame 36. Score is 3-0 in favor of Texas over Notre Dame. Very much anybody's ball game. It's Jones back to throw a pass for Texas. Got all the time in the world. Throws a long one down, and it's too long. Intended for Carabine. Gil Spring was the man for whom that was intended for. He went all the way down to about the 15, but he'd had to been down on the 10 to get it. Incomplete. So it's 2nd and 10, Texas ball, and Texas finds the going very, very rough against the Notre Dame defensive alignment. Frank Leahy has set up a splendid defense for this Texas team. Texas cannot gain consistently through the ground. That's why they're taking to the air. Jones back to throw a pass. He never gets it away. They pile him back on the 39. Jack Alessandrini brings him down on the 39 for a loss of about 4 yards. Make it 3 yards. 3rd and 13. Alessandrini brought him down on the 39. That's Texas 39-yard line. Score is Notre Dame nothing, Texas 3. We're about halfway through the second period of the football game from Austin, Texas. Bill Stern speaking, and believe me, this has been quite a ball game so far today. Notre Dame has never been out of trouble once this afternoon. Not once have the Fighting Irish been able to breathe easily. They're trailing by 3 points, and the ball has always been on their side of the 50-yard line all through this first half. Jones in the quarterback slot. He's back to throw a pass. There's a flag on the play. He throws it out. It's a screen pass. It's completed to about the 40-yard line. Actually, it was a loss of 2 yards. Al Kohanovich and Jacko Sandrini made that tackle of the receiver, but I believe there was a man illegally in motion in the Texas backfield, which is going to cost Texas 5 yards, if that's the case. Of course, Notre Dame can decline the penalty and take the play, since by so doing, they would pick up about 3 of those yards anyways. That play never got back to the line of scrimmage. Notre Dame can decline the penalty if they want to. Bob Raley comes in to do the punting for Texas. It is 4th and 15, and he's standing on the Texas side of the 50-yard line. He'll boot from about the midfield stripe. Takes one step forward, and he kicks for the sidelines. Waiting to take it is Gene Carabine, and the ball goes out of bounds on the 9-yard line.
Raley's kick went out of bounds on about the 8 1/2.
Raley's kick went out of bounds on the 9-yard line, and it is really quite a game. Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10 for the Irish on their own 9. Hey, talking about quite a game, get this score. First period, California 14, Minnesota 13. Way out wide is John Latner. That's Tommy Carey calling signals at quarterback for Notre Dame right now. Second time he's been in today. Gives it on a handoff this time to Neil Warden, the fullback. He gets across the 10, is stopped on about the 11. Harley Sewell, defensive center for Texas, stops him. Do you realize that the furthest Notre Dame has had the ball upfield all afternoon? This is the furthest they've been up, was the 34-yard line. They have never had the ball past their own 35. Most of the time, they've had the ball between their own 5 and the 20. They have never crossed the midfield stripe. They've never been out of trouble. They trail by 3 points, and yet they are very, very, very much in this ball game, as you well know. Irish playing with their backs to the wall all afternoon long so far. And it's a handoff this time, and into the clear comes Tommy Carey's handoff to Paul Reynolds. Reynolds stays with the ball, finally laterals it and turn to Heap to Latner. All 4 men in the backfield handle the ball, and Latner winds up, coming up almost to the 25-yard line before he's run out of bounds. I believe that's the longest gain that Notre Dame has made today. It was Carey to Heap to Latner, and Latner ran it up to the 24-yard line where he was finally run out of bounds. And Notre Dame comes from their own 11 to the 24 for a gain of 13 yards, and I think that's the second first down that the Irish have made this afternoon. Second first down. There is the TCU spread. Call it what you will. That's the first time I've seen Notre Dame go into it. It's the first time they've probably been able to. It's the Texas Christian spread with Tom Carey throwing the ball. And he's throwing it to Art Hunter. I have seen Notre Dame year in and year out. That's the first time I've ever seen him use that defense. The regular Texas Christian spread. Ends out wide. The 2 halfbacks deployed way out behind the ends. So it makes it 4 or 5 men racing down the field to catch passes. And how well Notre Dame knows that particular formation. They've seen it as Southern Methodist has thrown it against them. And here it is again. For want of a better term, call it the Texas Christian spread. That's what it's known by. Not good. Intended. Tommy Carey throwing, Art Hunter passing. You almost have to pass from this formation. Of course, they're going to make a great liar out of me immediately by running with it. But so far, it's essentially a passing formation. It was developed by Dutch Meyer at Texas Christian, and since their arch rival Southern Methodist came up with those great passers, namely Doak Walker, Kyle Rote, Freddie Benners, in, for want of a better term, the Dutch Meyer or Texas Christian spread. Ralph Guglielmi is back in at quarterback. Guglielmi back to throw a forward pass, racing down the field. There are 5 men to take this ball. It is not good. Intended for Neil Warden. So it's going to bring up a 4th down. Hey, you know, you got to take your hat off to both of these ball clubs. Notre Dame, for its dogged determination to get into the scoring column, they have gambled extensively. They've been in continual trouble all afternoon. They finally got the ball up to the 25 and immediately took to the air, threw 3 passes in a row, and you know without my telling you what one interception would do to them when they're trailing by 3 points. Notre Dame has thrown 7 passes, all inside their own 30, and they haven't completed a single one this afternoon. Back into punt formation goes John Latner. There are 5 minutes of playing time remaining in the first half. The score is Texas 3, Notre Dame nothing. Here's the punt. Waiting is Raley and Ingram. Raley takes it on his own 45, gets away from 1 man and is dragged down on the 43. So Texas, for almost the first time today, is back in their own territory. They've got the ball on their own 43.5-yard line.
On the 43-yard line, the Longhorn end of the field.
Longhorns ball, and this is the second time this afternoon they've had the ball in their own territory. All the rest of the time they've had it Notre Dame territory. And the other time they got it into Notre Dame territory after 2 plays. All right, Mr. Jones calling the signals out of a T formation for Texas. They lead 3-0. Second period of the game. A handoff this time to Larry Graham. Larry Graham is in at left halfback, replacing Gib Dawson, and the ball is moved up to the 49-yard line. It is Texas ball on their own 49, a gain of 6 yards on that play. It is 2nd and 4. Alessandrini made the tackle. Texas ball, 2nd and 4, and they just have the ball in their own territory by 1 yard. We have 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining to be played in the second period of the football game. Score is Texas 3, Notre Dame nothing. Jones quarterbacking, hands it into the center this time. Dick Ochoa goes across the midfield stripe, takes it into Notre Dame territory, and is finally stopped on the Irish 48-yard line. Jack Alessandrini is the man who stops him. So again the ball goes over into the Irish territory. Calling defensive signals for Notre Dame, calling the defensive signals is Alessandrini. And they are continually shifting that defense. Now it's an 8-man line. As the first time Notre Dame has used that today. An 8-man line against Texas. An 8-man line. 3 men backing it up, and they're within 5 yards. They are not suspicious of a forward pass, and they're right. It's a line plunge with Dick Ochoa, the offensive captain of Texas, going through for about a yard, I would say. So it's going to be 4th and 1. That was a very decisive play because had he picked up another yard, it would have been a first down. It's 4th and 1. In comes Bob Raley. And going back into safety for Notre Dame is Paul Reynolds and Joe Heap. It's been Texas with the ball. They're booting it right now. Raley kicking. He's kicking for the sidelines. Waiting to take it is Paul Reynolds. Ball goes out of bounds about the Notre Dame 20. And if we can go by what's gone before, Notre Dame may go back into that spread. That's a new formation for the Irish. They've tried 7 passes. Not the slightest bit worried about a pass on either the 3rd or 4th down. Of course, on the 4th, it had to be a kick, and they were getting through to block it if they could. Carey is calling these signals now. He's in place of Guglielmi at quarterback. Carey laterals it back this time to Neil Warden. And Warden fumbles the ball. It's fumbled out on the 20-yard line, and I think it is recovered. Hold it. Referee puts his hand up. The ball rolled out of bounds, but I thought for a moment it was recovered by Texas, but it is not. It is recovered by Notre Dame. Notre Dame's ball, 2nd down, 11 yards to go. They lost 1 yard on that play. It's a quick flip back to Paul Reynolds, and Reynolds is piled up on the line of scrimmage by Harley Sewell and Cliff Polk. So time is beginning to become a factor in this first half. There are 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining. And the score is Texas 3, Notre Dame nothing. And the Sun Blake, great. Nothing wrong with me. Pardon me while I put the teeth in. Sun-baked plains of Texas. Temperature about 90, and Notre Dame trailing by 3 points, trying to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. It's 3rd and 10. And it is Mr. Carey back to throw it. He completes the forward pass. Johnny Latner takes it. He is up to the 30, and that may be a first down. They had to go to the 31 for a first down. He went out of bounds on about the 30.5, and he either just made it or just missed it. And if he missed it, it's going to be 4th and a half, and if you're an armchair quarterback, call this one. What would you do? He's got about a yard to go. Trailing by a field goal, 3-0. You got less than a yard to go with a minute and a half remaining in the first half. It is your ball. Schrader's over the ball. There's the pass they're going to kick. And it is booted up the field. Ball bounds to the Texas 35, down to the 34, back to the 35. See where the referee puts it down. He puts it down on the 35-yard line, and it is Texas ball. And for the first time this afternoon, they find themselves really in their own territory. This is the first time they've been there. Twice today, they've been inside their own 45-yard line, once inside the 40. Now they are back to their own 35. It'll be the first half, if Notre Dame doesn't recover a fumble here, that they have ever spent completely bottled up in their own half of the field. I can't think of another game in which that's happened. Of course, I haven't seen them in all their games. But those that I have seen, I've never seen it happen before. There's a flag on the play. Dick Ochoa carrying the ball. Ochoa hands it off this time. It is lateral in turn to Jones, the quarterback. He to Gib Dawson, but there's a flag back on the 36-yard line. The ball advanced all the way. It was advanced all the way up to the 48-yard line, but it's being recalled to the 36-yard line. So the Texas team is losing. The team is being, or rather the Texas team advanced the ball up to the 48-yard line by means of a series of laterals. Jones to Ochoa and to Pace. Dawson was the final man to hold it. And it was really a juggling act worthy of any juggler you've ever seen. There was no such play set up for that. One ball got it, couldn't hold it. Another one reached for it. He got it, couldn't hold it. And they were just trying to keep it from touching the ground. And they were all bottled around that ball. The play is being called back, and I believe Texas is going to be penalized. It is now second down, 10 yards to go. Mr. Jones in the center spot of a tee. He goes back to throw a forward pass. He throws it up the field, and it's completed up to the 48-yard line by Gib Dawson. Dawson takes it on the 46, rolls down to the 48, and time is running out. There are only 45 seconds remaining in here in the first half. That is enough for a first down for Texas, and they begin to move via the aerial route, and they go up to their own 46-yard line where Dave Flood and Al Kohanovich bring down the pass receiver as he gets on the Notre Dame side of Texas's 45-yard line. There are only 25 seconds remaining in the first half of the ball game. Jones right down behind his center. He's the passer in there for Texas. Jones hands it off this time to Dick Ochoa. Ochoa stays on his feet, goes down to the 45, and is finally dragged down on the Notre Dame 43-yard line. And there's only 15 seconds. There's only 13 seconds. There's only 12 seconds, 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds. And Notre Dame, or rather Texas, wants to get another play. There's only 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. They may not get it in. There is the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. They don't get the play in. That's the end of the first half, and the score is Texas 3, Notre Dame nothing. Texas band playing The Eyes of Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, I have asked Ben Hogan, as you know, America's, well, I won't say the greatest, but if he's not, I don't know who is, one of the great golfers of all time, to come back to the microphone. He spoke very briefly before the game began. Ben, what do you think of the ball game so far?
Well, Bill, this is a wonderful game. Of course, I'm a little prejudiced since I'm from Texas myself. I really think the Texas team has outplayed Notre Dame. What's going to happen in the second half, I don't know. I should say that Texas should be at least 2 touchdowns ahead of Notre Dame just now, but Notre Dame has really put up some fights down there and hit those boys hard. That's the reason for all the fumbles that you have seen down along the goal line. I've thoroughly enjoyed the game so far, and of course this wonderful sunshine and the surroundings that we have here today. This is the most people I've ever seen in this stadium. As a matter of fact, they have 1,300 more people than should be here. They don't have any more seats, as a matter of fact.
Ben, don't you go away. I got to give a cue for our stations here, but you stay right here because I want to talk golf with you, even at this football field, in just a second. Got Ben Hogan on the microphone, and in 10 seconds you're going to hear from him. Back in Austin, Texas, since it is halftime and since neither team is on the field, I don't think it's too ill-appropriate, since we obviously have sport fans, or at least I hope we have, listening to this broadcast, to talk golf with my guest, Ben Hogan. Ben, I want to ask you a question.
Yes,
how come since the war we have had no big new names come up, I think with the exception of Jackie Burke? I'm talking about the youngsters. Just before the war, we had a whole host of them. You, for one.
Well, Bill, there's a lot of reasons for that, and the main one, of course, is World War. And looks like, I hope we don't go into another one, but it's certainly taking all of our young fellows now. It takes about 10 years for a fellow to develop a game to compete, and these boys just do not have time. They have the will and determination to do it, but when Uncle Sam called you, you're out marching with a rifle instead of a golf club. I think that's the main reason for it. Some of the boys that are playing now, I don't mean this is criticism, but they just don't seem to put out. It isn't an easy road to be a champion. You must work, and you must give up a lot. You can't go around and play nightclubs and dance and have a few drinks and things like that to be a champion. You have to go to bed and dream about what you're doing, get up early in the morning and practice it, think it all day long, and work as hard as you possibly can. That's the only shortcut I know of, and it's awfully hard work.
Gee, it sure is. Ben, let's go back and talk about this last Open. When did you feel that Julius Boris might overtake you? At the start of the last 18?
Well, of course, when I came in off the third 18 holes, and he had 68 and I was 74, he had me 2 shots then. Of course,
yes.
I didn't know until then that he had overtaken me. I never did give up that I couldn't win until the holes ran out on me where I couldn't birdie every hole and still tie.
That's true. I think did you realize that on the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th that we had Julius Boris in the Jeep and he was watching you shoot? Did it make you nervous, or did you know?
No, I didn't know it, as a matter of fact. I think where I lost my golden opportunities when I knocked the ball out of bounds in the 6th hole in the afternoon. I can honestly say I don't believe I would have gone out of bounds. I may have had just as badly a shot as I did, but I certainly wouldn't have gone out of bounds had I known that he had double bogeyed the 12th hole. I didn't know that he was that far in front of me, and I didn't know at the time that he was 2 over par. I think I'd have played it a little differently. The results probably would have been the same, but at least I'd have been a little closer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to say in summary, you have just heard Ben Hogan summarize the only National Open, just get this, the only National Open played in the last 5 years that he didn't win, in which he competed. A great champion. Thank you, Ben.
Well, thank you, Bill. I should like to say in defense of Julius Boris, though, but he's a wonderful gentleman, and he's a great champion, and I wish him the best always.
Well, let me put it this way, Ben. It was a great win for Julius Boris, a great win. It didn't do you any harm to lose once.
Bill, I've lost many more tournaments than I've ever won, and if I keep playing, I'm sure I'm going to continue along the same pattern, losing a heck of a lot more than I win.
Wonderful sport. Will you give my love to Valerie?
Surely will.
Thank you, Ben. Ben Hogan, ladies and gentlemen, there just isn't a greater competitor. And that speech he made about in training, that's the only shortcut. Was that something? Coming from a guy who got up off a hospital bed when they said he'd never walk again. First they thought he'd never live again. To come back and cop the National Open the next year. Quite a guy, isn't he? Ben Hogan. All right, the teams are back on the field, Notre Dame and Texas. Let's get back to football. All right, we're all ready to go. We'll give you Notre Dame's offense in just a second. Looking at him now, checking him down the line. There goes the kick. It's up into the air. It goes back to the 15-yard line. Lands on the 15. It's picked up by Neil Warden of Notre Dame. He's up to the 20, the 25, stays on his feet. And he is knocked down on the 26-yard line. All right, here's Notre Dame's offensive lineman. Left end, Don Penzel. Left tackle, Tom Murphy. Left guard, Tom Seaman. Center, Jim Schrader. Right guard, Jack Alessandra. Right tackle, Joe Bush. Right end, Art Hunter. Quarterback, Ralph Guglielmi. Fullback, Neil Warden. At left halfback, Joe Heap, and at right halfback, Johnny Latner. Defensively for Texas, the ends are Georges and Massey. The tackles are Polk and Miller. The center is Sewell. Backing up the line are Barton, Rosser, and Ingram. That was from right to left. The wing backs are Raley and Spring, and the safety is Billy White. All right, you got them both. Notre Dame's ball. Guglielmi hands it off this time to Joe Heap, and Heap drives for about 4 yards before he is brought down on the 31-yard line. 2nd and 6. Notre Dame's ball. Harley Sewell, defensive center for Texas, stops it. Texas playing a 6-5-2-2, 5-3-2-1. Neil Warden. It's a wing back this time with Warden out wide. Ball is handed off to John Latner. Latner drives to the 35. That's very close to a first down for Notre Dame. There is a penalty on that play. I believe it is illegal use of hands on the offense. Here comes that Texas Christian split. I believe that's the first time Notre Dame has ever used it. Ralph Guglielmi right behind center. He's back to throw a forward pass. Instead, he hands it off to Neil Warden. Warden's up to the 20, the 25, the 30, and he's down on the 30. Gee, that was a beauty. Warden goes all the way up to the 30. He is dropped on the 31-yard line. And that is 3rd down and about 6 yards to go. Notre Dame's ball, 3rd and 6. Remember, they were just penalized 15 yards. Neil Warden, way out wide this time. Guglielmi on a spot pass. It's good for a first down. He throws it to Art Hunter, the right end. Hunter takes it on the 39 and is hit up on the 40-yard line. Hub Ingram brings him down. And now Notre Dame is moving down the field, and for the first time, the Irish are beginning to march. This is the first time today they have put on a sustained drive. They more than make a first down, and they had to do that one the hard way. They were penalized 15 yards. Almost had it, and were set back for an infraction of the rules. Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10 in their own 40. This is the furthest they've been up the field all afternoon long. Score is Texas 3, Notre Dame nothing. Neil Warden way out to the right this time. A quick opening play. Ball goes to Joe Heap, and Joe Heap is brought down on the 46-yard line. Referee puts it down on the 47. Jack Barton, the captain of Texas, made that tackle. And Notre Dame is moving. They move up to the 47. Texas leads 3-0.
Ball is on Notre Dame's 48-yard line.
On the Notre Dame 47, let's call it. Third period of the ball game, Texas leads 3-0, but Notre Dame is just about to drive over their 50-yard line if they keep going. First time today they have. Neil Warden way out to the left this time. And it's a handoff this time. And Johnny Lattner takes the ball. He goes down to the 45-yard line to Texas 45, and Notre Dame is down into Texas territory. This is the first time they've been across the midfield stripe, and they are driving viciously. Cliff Polk, the right tackle of Texas, made the stop. And Notre Dame is an inspired team. Art Hunter, the right end, is in there throwing a key block. So it is Notre Dame's ball. 1st and 10 down on the Texas 46, and Texas asks for timeout. Neil Warden out wide. It's a handoff this time to Joe Heap. Heap is hit cold, dropped in his tracks by Harley Sewell. Doesn't gain an inch. 2nd and 10. Here's another score. West Virginia 21, Waynesburg nothing. That's at the half. First period, Maryland 7, Clemson nothing. First half, Georgia 35, North Carolina State nothing. First period, Mississippi 7, Auburn nothing. All right, it's Notre Dame's ball, second and about 9.5. Neil Warden out to the left this time. Guglielmi calling these signals. He gives a handoff this time to Johnny Lattner. Lattner stays on his feet and drives all the way down to the 31-yard line. John Lattner goes all the way to the 31, and it's another first down for Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is driving way deep. Pens of Notre Dame and White of Texas were having words, but it was over as quickly as it started. Howard Moon is in at one end for Texas, and Billy George is in for the other. Ostensibly, they're both left end. Moon is in at right end. Notre Dame moving. They're down on the Texas 31-yard line. They trail 0-3. This is the best drive the Irish have put on today. The first time they've been out of their own territory. It's Guglielmi running the ball. He's down to the 25-yard line, and he's dragged down on the 25. He was stopped about 5 times on the line of scrimmage. Miller had his hands on him. Sewell had his hands on him. Raley finally got him. Brought him down on the 25 at 2nd and 5. And this is an inspired Notre Dame team. Just as Moose Cross predicted, they came out loaded with fire. Ralph Guglielmi has run Notre Dame all the way down to the Texas 25-yard line. We're at 2nd and 5. Notre Dame's on the short end of a 0-3 score. Texas digging in. They've changed that defense. It's a 6-2-2-1. Used to be a 5-3-2-1. Notre Dame out of the huddle now. John Lattner out wide in a wing T. A handoff this time. There's a flag on a play. Joe Heap carries the ball. He stays on his feet. He's down to the 20, down to the 15-yard line. There's a flag on a play back on the 24-yard line. Heap was the ball carrier, and he stayed on his feet and kept driving. Drove it all the way down to the 16-yard line. There's an infraction of the rules, and it occurred somewhere in the neighborhood of the 24-yard line. That's where the flag is up the field. Howard Moon made the tackle. Depends who that penalty is against. It looks like it's against Notre Dame, since the referee is in talking to Texas. Illegal use of the hands. If that is so, that's a 15-yard penalty against Notre Dame. They're down on there's a spread formation, a wide spread. It's Guglielmi flipping it back this time to Joe Heap. Heap fading back. He throws a long one down to the 10-yard line. It's taken by Notre Dame on the 5. It's Neil Warden. He goes out of bounds. He goes out of bounds somewhere inside the 5-yard line. Let the referees settle that one. Referee says that he went into the end zone and not out of bounds. Referee is now arguing whether that is a touchdown. It is a pass to Guglielmi to Lattner. And he went out of bounds on the 1-foot line. He went out on the 1-foot line. It is Notre Dame's ball on the Texas 1-foot line. Johnny Lattner went out on the 1-foot line. Texas cohorts pleading, hold that line. Notre Dame, who was never able to get across the middle of the field in the first period, now down on the Texas 1-foot line. Spread formation. Guglielmi right down behind his center. Neil Warden at fullback. And as a touchdown, Johnny Lattner goes into the end zone, and Notre Dame has scored. Oh, there was no denying them. Once they got this ball, they went right up the field all the way. A sustained drive of about 70 yards, and they never gave it up. Now the extra point. Mavradis will kick, and probably holding will be Tommy Carey. Bad pass from center. Kick is up in the air. It is good. Carl Massey, the right end, tried to get through the block that couldn't. Score is 7-3. Notre Dame has gone out in front after Texas led throughout the whole first half. The Irish lead 7-3. Here's a first half score. Duke 7, Tennessee nothing. Doug Cameron and Billy Quinn are deep for Texas. It's a hard one to handle. She's going all the way back to the 7. Fumbled momentarily on the 7. It's taken by Dave Flood, and he is hit back on about the 20-yard line. He gets it back to the 20. Very hard ball to handle. It was one of these that just never went over 3 or 4 feet off the ground. It didn't even rise to the height of a man. It was traveling like a bullet. It's a comparatively new way they're kicking it. I would say newer than the last 5 years. They just lay the ball down on the ground. Don't tee it up at all, not end over end, and just boot it sideways. It doesn't go through the air. It almost just skims over the top of the grass. It's called a grass cutter. Terrifically hard to handle, because you never know when it's going to bound and where it's going. It bounds crazily, and it's just off the ground all the time. Texas ball, 1st and 10 in their own 21. Jones, quarterbacking the team. He hands it this time, hands it off to Jimmy Pace. Pace stays on his feet and drives up the field to the 29-yard line. And Texas, stunned by Notre Dame's touchdown, comes roaring back with a 9-yard gain. Jimmy Pace, right halfback for Texas offensively, comes roaring up the field right through the center of the line. He split his own right guard and right tackle. Notre Dame drops its defense back, sensing that there may be a pass coming up. Jones quarterbacking the team again. Texas stung with the ease with which Notre Dame ran for a 74-yard touchdown. Into the center of the line goes Pace again, and this time he gains nothing. I don't even think he gained the yard they needed for a first down. He was stopped by Jack Lee. Lee gets him and stops him about a foot short of a first down, so it's 3rd and a foot. He picked up 2 feet on that play. Score is Notre Dame 7, Texas 3. And Texas has got the ball on their own 30-yard line, midway between the sideline stripes. We're about halfway through the 9 minutes of playing time in the third period. And Texas has got the ball. Jones down behind a balanced line. Notre Dame's throwing an 8-man line at him again. Second time today they've done that. An 8-man line. Into the center of the line goes Gib Dawson. He may have made a first down, depending upon where the referee put it down. Sam Palumbo, Jack Lee, Bob Reddy, all in to stop him. And it depends on where the referee spots that ball. Nope, I don't think he made a first down. He missed it. He needed 2 feet, and he still needs 2 feet. He gained absolutely nothing. Raley is in the boot. Punt formation. Joe Heap is standing back. And so is Paul Reynolds. They're going to boot. There's the kick. It's a beauty. Waiting to take it is Reynolds. Reynolds takes it back at his own 26-yard line. He hands it off this time to Joe Heap. Heap's coming up the sidelines, and he is up to the 30, the 35, and he is running out of bounds. Run out of bounds as he gets up the field to about the 46-yard line. Let's see what the referee says. Referee says he stepped out on a 40. Nope, referee says he stepped down on a 30. He did a tightrope act all the way up to the 46. One man signaled that he went out on a 40. Another says he went out on the 29 and a half. 29 and 1/2. So it's Notre Dame's ball. Now Notre Dame takes over, and they lead. Coming out to the left on a split tee, a wing tee, is Johnny Latner. Guglielmi carrying the ball, fake to give it to somebody else, stays on his feet, gets away from one man. He's finally driven out of bounds as he goes to the 36. He did a beautiful fake there. There's a penalty on this play. A flag is back on the 28-yard line. That was Ralph Guglielmi faking it. He's out of Columbus, Ohio. Man, it was almost impossible to tell that he had the ball. He faked to hand it to Warden, the fullback. I think it's a clipping penalty against Notre Dame. Score is 7-3. Guglielmi, great faker, great quarterback, 19-year-old lad. Out to the right on a wing tee is Neil Warden. 1st and 25 for the Irish, back on their own 14-yard line. Guglielmi, the interference is forming in front of him. He's coming up the field. He's up to the 19-yard line, and he's hit back on the 19. Hanley Sewell hits him back on the 19-yard line. So he came from the 14 to the 19. A gain of 5 yards. It'll be second and about 20. And there are 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Notre Dame asks for timeout. It is timeout in the game at Austin, Texas, and the score is Notre Dame 7, Texas 3.
Operator 5 at Lockhart, Dr. A.A. Ross, Jr.
Latner out to the left as time is back in. So is Penn to the left end. A spot pass thrown and knocked down, intended for Art Hunter. Bob Ingram knocks it down, incomplete. So it's 3rd and 20 for Notre Dame. 3rd and 20 for Notre Dame. Score 7-3. Notre Dame over Texas. Guglielmi out of Columbus, Ohio, 19-year-old lad, running the Notre Dame ball club. 180-pounder, 6 feet tall. Out to the left are Heap and Penn, so that's the left end and left halfback. Guglielmi on a quick opening play, hands it to Neil Warden. Warden stays on his feet, and he's finally dumped as he gets to the 26. So it's going to be 4th and about 14. Howard Moon, left end of Texas, gets in and knocks it down. Going back is Bob Raley, safety for Texas, and Hub Ingram. 66,269 in a stadium that won't hold that many. Down in Austin, Texas. Just bulging at the seams. Johnny Latner back in punt formation. He's standing on the Notre Dame 12. He'll boot from the 15. He gets it up in the air. It's a nice one. Way up. And the receiver, that is Riley. He's got a... Whoa! He's hit as fast as he gets it. I started to say he's looking right up into the sun. He was. He took it on the 23, and he was hit as fast as he caught it by Dan Shannon, who drove him back to the 21. So it's Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 23-yard line. Texas into a huddle. And while the sun is setting in the west, as it always does, it is nevertheless a little bit more in Texas, in the eyes of Texas. Sounds like a musical cue, but so help me, that's what it is, than it is in Notre Dame. Notre Dame has their back to the sun. The T formation for Texas. And a quick opening play this time with Jimmy Pace getting absolutely nowhere. Jones handing off to Pace. And Pace may have picked up 1 yard, but he didn't pick up any more. As a matter of fact, I don't think he picked up anything. He lost about a half a yard. Bob O'Neill, right end of Notre Dame, defensively stopped him. Notre Dame has thrown a conglomeration of defenses at Texas, which has really befuddled the Longhorns in this second half. Texas out of the huddle. Texas into the orthodox tee. Ends and tackles a little bit wide. A shovel pass back, and there's a flag on the play. Gib Dawson, left halfback, carries up to the 25, but there's 2 flags on that play. One is dropped on the 21, one is on the 19. Dan Shannon, left halfback defensively for Notre Dame, stopped it. I think the penalty's against Texas because the ref is in talking about talking to the Notre Dame captain as to what he wants. So, and Texas is retreating, so they know they're about to be penalized. It's man illegally in motion in the backfield. It's going to cost him 5 yards. Notre Dame, I believe, will refuse that penalty because they'd like to keep the downs moving along. It would have been 2nd and 14. It is 3rd and 9. Jones back to throw a forward pass, just manages to get it away. It's coming up the field, but not far enough. Intended for Gil Spring. Was not good. So Texas now, though a favorite in this game over Notre Dame, is not only trailing, but they are really being outplayed at the moment by Texas, who are pushing the Notre Dame line, or rather the Texas line, right back and getting at these passers so fast. Jones that he gets no protection whatsoever to get it away. Bob Raley comes in, and he is the kicker for Texas. It is 4th and 9. Texas ball back on their own 10-yard line. Joe Heap is back in safety, as is Paul Reynolds for Notre Dame. They're standing back on the Irish 30-yard line. There's the pass from center. There's the kick. It is up in the air. A spiral. Waiting to take that one is Reynolds. He takes it on the 35, gets away from one man. His interference starts to form in front of him, but he's swarmed down to the ground on his own 40-yard line. So Texas puts its defensive team in. Notre Dame its offensive team. Notre Dame's offensive is Guglielmi at quarterback, Joe Heap at left halfback, Neil Warden at fullback, and Johnny Latner at right halfback. And Notre Dame on their own 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Or rather, first down, 10 yards to go. Texas 3, Notre Dame 7. Notre Dame on the march again. The time the ball is handed off to John Latner. He goes from the 40 to about the 42, and he's hit down by Jack Barton, defensive captain for Texas. 7-3 ball game. Notre Dame over Texas from Austin, Texas. It's interesting to note they never got as far as they are right now in the entire first half. And, of course, as you know, they drove 74 yards in this half for their only touchdown. Joe Heap out wide to the left. It is Guglielmi back to throw. He laterals to Latner. Latner takes it and is dropped on the 39-yard line in front of the ball, and I believe Texas recovered. No, sir, they did not. He rolls, the referee rolls, and it was a dead ball on the 39. It squirted out of Johnny Latner's hand, the Notre Dame right halfback. And Jack Barton fell on it for Texas. But the ref rules he had blown his whistle, and it is not a free ball, and it is still in the possession of Notre Dame. A lateral thrown by Ralph Guglielmi to Johnny Latner. Latner catches it, is hit on the 39 so hard the ball goes squirting out of his arms. Jack Barton of Texas falls on it, but the referee rules that he blew his horn before the fumble occurred, and therefore the ball is still in the possession of the University of Notre Dame. Notre Dame's ball, 3rd down, 11 yards to go. They lead 7-3. We have about 4 minutes of playing time remaining in the third period. Out to the right goes Joe Heap on a wing tee for Notre Dame. Irish gaining confidence as they go along. It's Guglielmi back to throw a forward pass. Looks for a man down the field. He throws a long one out to the left. And it's completed. It's completed out of the Texas 45. It's taken by Joe Heap. And it's a first down for Notre Dame. Notre Dame moves down to the Texas 39-yard line. That was thrown by Guglielmi right into the arms of Joe Heap. And it is Texas now just as much on the defense as Notre Dame was throughout that first half. If you can just picture a complete switch. Notre Dame continually on the defense in the first half, now finds themselves continually on the offense. Carrying the ball, Johnny Latner squirms over his own right tackle. And he went from about the 39 to the 36 before Jack Taylor can bring him down. And they, too, have now gone almost up to what Notre Dame. They're playing a 6-5. Wait a minute, let's get this right. A 6-1-4 defense. Into the center of the line goes Neil Warden, and he is stopped after about a 2-yard gain. A 6-1-4 defense. Completely unorthodox, both throwing crazy defenses at each other. And this one that Texas just came up with a beaut, but it stopped that play. 6 men in the line, 1 man behind the line, and then 4 backs strung out about 5 yards back. Notre Dame's 3rd and 3. Guglielmi on a quick opening play hands it to Joe Heap. Heap may have gone to him for a first down. I think he was stopped about a yard short. Cliff Polk, right tackle of Texas, stopped him. So it's going to be 4th and 2. 4th and about 1.5. Guglielmi, they're going to run with it. They're not going to kick. It's Guglielmi. Tries to hand it off and stumbles and doesn't make it. Texas takes over. Guglielmi gets a very bad break. Good for Texas, bad for Notre Dame. He faked the handoff, and for the first time this afternoon, his feet spun out from under him. And the ball goes over to Texas. It was a 4th down, and they didn't make the 2. It's Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 34. Into the center of the line goes Gib Dawson, and there is no gain. The entire Notre Dame team is just waiting for him. Gee, how this game has changed from the first half to the second half. Texas was gaining consistently throughout that first half of the ball game. They're finding they're going terrifically tough in the second half. Texas back into a huddle, 2nd down, 10 yards to go. They trail 3-7. A minute and a half remaining to be played in the third period. Game in Austin, Texas. Bill Stern speaking, and this is quite a ball game. Gib Dawson out to the right. Jones quarterbacking a split tee. One of the few times they've tried this afternoon. Looks like it might be a pass coming up. It isn't, however. It's given over to Jimmy Pace, and Pace drives up to the 35. He never gets there. He is stopped on about the line of scrimmage on the 33 by Dick Seismansky and Paul Metz. And it's going to be 3rd down.
19, Washington State, 7.
Baylor, 19, Washington State, 7. That's a third period score. All right, here comes Texas out of the huddle, and Leahy, for the first time today, is up off the bench, motioning to his own backfield to get back, sensing that with a 3rd and 10, it's almost got to be a pass. Jones right down behind the center. Texas in the tee. It's a fake pass with Jones handing it off to Dick Ochoa. He faked the pass, and Ochoa comes up for about a 4-yard gain right through the center of the line before Bob Reddy can bring him down. Texas elects to fake, and I believe that time has been called by Texas. I think time is out for the Texans. Let's wait and see to be sure. They're back huddling, and apparently not. Apparently they're not going back into the traditional huddle that comes with timeout. Instead, they go into a punt formation. Bob Raley is back to kick. It's 4th and about 7, and Raley he gets the ball. He boots it. It's coming up the field. It bounds to the Notre Dame 30. It goes back to the 27, and Joe Heap just lets it bound back to the 26. Notre Dame takes over, 1st and 10, and we only have 16 seconds remaining in the third period. 16 seconds. Texas didn't make a single first down in this third period, and Notre Dame made 5. And that's compared to the fact that Texas made 9 in the first half and Notre Dame 2. As think of the reverse in these two teams. It was all Texas in the first half of this ball game, and it's been all Notre Dame in the third period. As great as Texas was in the first half, that's how great Texas has been in the second half. Or rather, as great as Texas was in the first half, that's how great Notre Dame has been in the second half. There's only 10 seconds remaining in this. Neil Warden way out wide. Ball is given to Joe Heap, and Heap is finally brought down after about a 4-yard gain, and I think that's the last play of the third period. At the end of the third quarter, and the score in Austin, Texas is Notre Dame 7, Texas 3.
Heap is the ball carrier. Short and White made the tackle.
2 All right, Notre Dame into a wide spread formation. I wouldn't know how to call that when it's just a plain spread with nobody back. Guglielmi, the only man, faking to hand it off, but keeping himself and picking up about 7 yards. He came around his own left end. And he faked the handoff, but he didn't give it any. Jack Barton, the right defensive linebacker, was the man who finally brought him down, but it's enough for a first down for Notre Dame. They have the ball 1st and 10 on their own 40. Ball is brought in 20 yards from the eastern sideline of this huge horseshoe stadium with the open end closed in by bleacher seats this afternoon. And here's that same formation again. Let's just call it a wide open tee. Guglielmi on a handoff this time to Johnny Latner. Latner goes for about 3 before he's brought down. He reaches the 43. Jim Rosser and Jack Barton bring him down. So it'll be 2nd and 7. Notre Dame leads 7-3. We have 14 minutes of playing time remaining in the ball game, and Etta Soul is reaching for the exit. 7-3. Notre Dame over Texas on a hard-fought contest in Austin, Texas. Guglielmi right down behind. He hands the ball off to Bill Warden, and Warden is pulled down as he picked up at most 1 yard by Harley Sewell. Guglielmi handled it off to the fullback, and Warden, the fullback, was pulled down as he reached the 44-yard line. Latner out to the right. It's Guglielmi back to throw a forward pass for Notre Dame. Went up into the air, and it is not good. Intended for Joe Heap. And it goes harmlessly out of bounds, so it is not good. And it is incomplete. Joe's hobby, hunting and fishing, and he was both hunting and fishing for that ball. Bad punt. Johnny Latner goes back in the punt formation. And Johnny Latner is going to kick it for Notre Dame. He gets it high up in the air. The entire Notre Dame team is down. They're waiting for the man to take it. He signals for a fair catch. That's back in this year. You know, that was outlawed last year and the year before. It's back in this year. And Raley signaled for a free catch, and the Notre Dame team couldn't tackle him. And, man, he should have. There were about 204 Notre Dame would-be tacklers standing right around him saying, I dare you to catch it. So he just thrust his arm up in the air, the signal for a fair catch, and he did catch it, but they couldn't hit him. The Yankees won the baseball game today by a score of 2-0, so that ties up the series at 2 games apiece. Jones quarterbacking a strong Texas team, but a team which has been completely outplayed in the 3rd period, but a team which outplayed Notre Dame all through the 1st half. Ball is given this time to Gib Dawson. Dawson rips off his own left tackle, gets to the 32, and he's brought down by Al Kohanovich. Kohanovich brings him down on the Texas 32. A gain of about 3 to 4 yards on that play. Texas wearing their bright orange uniforms. Jones has been a great quarterback all afternoon for Texas. He's the most experienced, the best ball carrier they have to run out of that quarterback out of the T position. He fakes a forward pass and then throws it, and it's completed. Tommy Stolowski. He takes it on the 39, and that is good for a first down for Texas. And that's the first down that Texas has made in this half, I believe. Is that right? Bill Howard shakes his head, and Joe Hassel says yes, too. So with that confirmation, I'll say it is. They made 9 in the first half. In the second half, Notre Dame has made 5, and Texas has made none up to this one. So just get that. The first downs were 9-2 in favor of Texas in the first half, and they're 5-1 in favor of Notre Dame in the second half. Texas has the ball on their own 39, 1st and 10. That's the first down they have made. Into the center of the line goes Jimmy Pace. Notre Dame piles him right up. They've had very little luck through the center of that line. Dick Szymanski stops him.
Pace, the ball carrier.
Pace, a very fine halfback, University of Texas. Jimmy Dan Pace, right halfback, a letterman last season as a reserve. Outstanding baseball player, 5'9", 180 pounds. Jones quarterbacking the team out of an orthodox tee with the wings, the ends rather, a little bit out wide. It is Jones back to throw a forward pass, finds his man and chucks it up the field. It is caught by Tom Stolansky. Tommy Stolansky takes it on about the Texas 47-yard line, very close to a first down. Gene Carabine. And so Texas, finding that they cannot go through the ground, has taken to the air, and as is so typical of Southwestern football, which today has been exemplified by the daring of Notre Dame in throwing 7 in a row in their own 20-yard line, within their own 20-yard line. But now Texas has gone into the sky, and it's 3rd, and let's call it 2. Jones on a handoff this time. He gives it to Ochoa, and it is another first down for Texas.
Jones with the ball carrier. Fred Reed made the tackle.
Oh, you can hear by the yell. Ochoa, who just carried that, he took over when the All-American Byron Townsend got out of here 2 years ago at fullback. All right, again, it's Texas ball, 1st and 10, this time on the Notre Dame 49-yard line. Right in the middle of the playing field. A flip pass back to Jimmy Pace. Pace carries the ball, and he is finally knocked down on the 48-yard line. A gain of 1 yard. Every play brings screams here from the Texas rooting section. I don't think I'm despairing any other section of the country when I say nobody takes their football, but nobody quite as seriously as they do down here. They really take it. And they will play and replay this ball game probably 20 times before the frost is on the pumpkin, so to speak. All right, Jones at the quarterback slot again. It is 2nd and 9, a gain of 1 yard. Texas on the first sustained drive they've put on in this half. It's Jones back to throw. He throws a very bad one down into the ground. And Tom Stolansky and Jimmy Pace are waiting with outstretched hands, as is Dan Shannon of Notre Dame. But nobody can get it. It's just a bad pass, and it's the first one that he's thrown today, and so he is not to be too severely criticized for that. Pace goes out, and Dean Smith comes in his place. And time becomes more and more important. 9 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the ball game, and Notre Dame leading 7-3. Texas out of the huddle very quickly. First time in this half they've been down in Notre Dame territory. Jones quarterback in the team. Out of an orthodox T formation. He's back to throw a forward pass. Looks for a man to throw it to. He's going to run it. He's back to the 50. He's down to the 45. Gets away from one man. Can't get away from another, and he is dropped on the 44. Clem Carabine finally stopped him, and Jack Alessandrini. Also Jack Whalen.
Jones kept the ball.
Moved down to the 44-yard line. He originally intended to pass on that and couldn't find anybody to pass to, and it's 4th down and 5 yards to go for Texas. Notre Dame playing bang-up defensive ball. Now there are only 9 minutes of playing time remaining. And here comes Bob Raley into the ball game to boot for Texas. Notre Dame leads 7-3. Heap and Reynolds back in safety for Notre Dame. They're standing back on the Irish 10, waiting to see where this kick's going to be. Sun's going to be in their eyes. Raley boots. He's angling for the sidelines. Ball bounced down, and I believe out of bounds somewhere in the neighborhood of the 16 or 17-yard line. Heap let it go out of bounds, so it is Notre Dame's ball, 1st and 10, and the Irish now have all the advantages on their side because time, 9 minutes left to play. Let's get back to this ball game. Notre Dame 7, Texas 3. Notre Dame's got the ball 1st and 10 on their own 16-yard line. Into the center of the line goes Johnny Latner. Latner goes up to about the 19-yard line before he's stopped. Here's the third period score. Virginia 35, BPI nothing. Going to give you all the scores right after this ball game on many of these same stations. Bob Wolf will call them right off for you. Notre Dame out of the huddle. They go up to the 17. He put it on the 18-yard line instead of the 19, so it's 2nd and 8. Warden in the tailback, if you can call such a position at this time. It's Guglielmi faking a handoff, staying on his feet. He's on his feet up to the 30, the 35. His interference is forming in front of him. He's up to the 40, the 45, and he's knocked out of bounds on the 47-yard line. Ralph Guglielmi carrying that ball beautifully for Notre Dame. Comes up to the 47. Comes up to the 47-yard line. And, gee, if you'd seen the blocks that were thrown out in front of him, Warden threw a key block which sprung him loose back on the 25. Billy White is in at safety for Texas, and that's the last man could get him, and he got him. Long run for Notre Dame, and this is a completely different team than was in the first half. Into the center of the line goes Latner. He breaks through, comes to the 45, the 40, and he's down to the Texas 39-yard line. And Notre Dame is really moving. Notre Dame down to the Texas 39. And in 2 plays, they've come from their own 24 down to the Texas 39. I believe a time has been called by Texas to probably trying to decipher how they can stop this Notre Dame attack. So it's time out at the game at Austin, Texas, and the score is Notre Dame 7, Texas 3. All right, here we go back to this ball game now. Bill Stern speaking from Austin, Texas. Notre Dame driving for what may be another touchdown. They hand the ball to John Latner, and there's a penalty on this play. They are down to the Texas 39. Latner is swarmed as he tries to go through the center of the line. And there is no gain on that, but there is a flag for a penalty. It could be a man illegally in motion, which would cost Notre Dame 5 yards if Texas takes the penalty. but Texas may decline the penalty because it would give Notre Dame another down. Second down, 10 yards to go, Notre Dame's ball on the Texas 35. And it's at Guglielmi, proving very hard to bring down, faking to hand it off to Latimer. Instead, he doesn't do it, keeps it himself, and just squirms through half the Texas defense before he's finally brought down to the ground on about the 37-yard line. Gee, that boy plays beautifully. Notre Dame, you know, has been famous for its great quarterbacks, Bob Williams being the last. But you can go back and call out Johnny Lujak, etc. Angelo Bertelli. Oh, you go back and you find they've got great ones. I think they got a great one in this kid. He is really wonderful. 19 years old, and he's been the spark that's brought this ball club back to life. Of course, Mr. Leahy didn't do him any harm in what he said at the halftime. They came running out, and they've been running ever since. Warden in the tailback this time. It is Guglielmi faking the pass. Instead, he gives it out to Johnny Latner. Latner stays on his feet. He's back to the 30. Interference is still in front of him. He's dropped on the 27, and he went for a first down. That is a first down for Notre Dame. Oh, this is really an inspired ball club now. Ralph Guglielmi started to shine, actually, against Southern Cal a year ago. He wants to play professional football, and he wants to be a dentist. Well, he can do them both the way he's going today. If Texas could only have figured a painless way for this guy to operate. To this one, Notre Dame leading 7-3, and time is back in. Warden out wide. Guglielmi hands it off this time to Joe Heap. Heap drives for about 3 yards before he's brought down by Hugh Reeder. And Reeder stopped him on about the 26-yard line, so let's call it a gain of 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7. Have you had a laugh today? If you haven't, you'll get a kick out of this. This is in a Texas paper this morning, so help. Okay, let's do it now. We'll give it to you in a minute, though. I read it, did a double take, went back and read it again. Neil Warden way out to the right for Notre Dame. This wing T formation. Guglielmi hands off to Warden. Warden goes all the way to the 20, but there's a flag on the play. There's a flag on that play. And I believe it's either an offside or man illegally in motion, either of which would be a 5-yard penalty against Notre Dame. And since there was a good gain on that play, the chances are Texas is going to take this penalty, even though it gives Notre Dame another down. The flag went up in the air at the 28-yard line. Man illegally in motion. They're pacing off the 5 yards. All right, the spread formation for Notre Dame. It's Guglielmi flipping the ball back this time to Joe Heap. Heap is fading back to throw it. Can't find a man. Now he does. He throws a long pass. It's all the way down to the 5-yard line and out of bounds. Intended for Johnny Latner. All the way down to the Texas 5. With 2nd and 11, so it's going to be 3rd and 11. Notre Dame all the way down on the Texas 5-yard line. The pass was intended for Johnny Latner. It sailed out of bounds, and he did a tightrope act, trying to stay in bounds and reach up and grab it. 3rd and about 11. And there are 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to be played in this ball game, and Notre Dame is leading 7-3. And Notre Dame has got the ball on the Texas 31, and time is called by the Irish. It is Guglielmi back to throw a forward pass. He completes it to Warden. Warden takes the ball on the 31, and he is knocked down on the 31 by Don Miller. Miller knocks him down. That brings up the 4th down. It is Notre Dame's ball, 4th and 11. And there are 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this ball game. And Notre Dame leads 7-3. Johnny Latner is probably going to come in, and he will angle for the so-called coffin corner, meaning if you put it out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, he has to reach for the pass from center. He boots it. It is caught on the 5. It is caught on a 5 and fumbled by Doug Cameron, I believe recovered by Notre Dame. It is. It's Notre Dame's ball on the Texas 3-yard line. Bob Raley tried to handle a very hard bounding ball on the Texas 5. It got away from him. It rolled to the 3, and Doug Dan Shannon of Notre Dame fell on it. It's the Irish ball on the Texas 3-yard line. Notre Dame's ball on the Texas 3. Dan Shannon just recovered that for Notre Dame. Dan Shannon just recovered for Notre Dame. All right, Notre Dame's ball, 1st and goal to go on the Texas 3. The ball is given to Joe Heap. He goes into the end zone, and Notre Dame has got another touchdown.
Heap goes over for the second touchdown for Notre Dame.
Mavrides will come in to kick the extra point. That makes the score Notre Dame 13, Texas 3. Notre Dame out of the huddle. Given a golden opportunity, they sure made the most of it. Jim Schrader holding. Mavrides will kick. Bad pass from center, but it's up in the air. It is good. 14-3. Honestly, in all your born days, have you ever seen a ball game which so completely changed from one half to the other? Notre Dame never got out of its own bailiwick in the first half of the game. They never crossed the midfield stripe, and Texas hasn't been across it in the second half of the game. Across the field, the band strikes up The Eyes of Texas. Let's listen. Back in the booth, ladies and gentlemen, Mavrides kicks it. It's a very bad kick. It was intended to be an onside kick, and I believe Texas fumbled the ball, but then they recovered it themselves. The ball only rolled to the 45-yard line. Let me see. It would have had to go 15 yards. It is Ernie of Austin, Texas, a local boy, 21 years old, weighing 205, who finally fell on that ball, and I think he's injured on the play. Paul Ernie, a guard of the University of Texas. He's an Austin boy, and he was injured on that particular play. 21 years old, 5'10", standing 205, or rather weighing 205, and he recovered what may or may not have been an intentional onside kick. If it wasn't, it was a very bad kick. But since no interference could possibly get down there to form in front of any receiver, since the kick itself only traveled some 15 yards, I don't think that was actually intended to be an onside kick. It slithered off the foot of the man who kicked it. There's only a little bit better than 4 minutes and 50 seconds remaining to be played, and Texas is now trailing by 11 points. Texas goes to the air immediately. There's a long forward pass, and it is knocked down. Jones throwing intended for Gib Dawson. Carabine knocks it down. 5-man line for Notre Dame. Incidentally, there's a flag on that play. There's a 5-man line. And the reason for that is obvious, of course, that Notre Dame knows full well that Texas, now trailing by, a touchdown and a half, 2 touchdowns ostensibly, has got to take to the air. There's the flag. It's a penalty against Notre Dame, and it's a 15-yard penalty. We've had no signal as yet. It takes Texas down to the Notre Dame, call it the 37-yard line. Illegal use of the hands. Illegal use of the hands. Time is the most important factor in the ball game. Texas is trailing by 11 points. Jones calling these signals. He gives it on a handoff to get Dawson. Dawson stays on his feet and goes all the way down to the 24-yard line.
Dawson with the ball carrier. Carabine and Murphy.
The first down for Texas down on Notre Dame 24. Score is 14-3 in favor of Notre Dame, but Texas is driving deep down in Notre Dame territory.
Notre Dame is in the field.
Paul Reynolds just came out defensively for Notre Dame. And he ran out of that ball game, but ran out fast. Carradine took his place. Dick Seismansky goes in. Here's a final. Wisconsin beats Illinois 20-6 with 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining to be played in this ball game. And Texas is now down for the 5th time this afternoon, threatening to score on Notre Dame. Texas down on the 24-yard line of Notre Dame. A quick flip pass intercepted by Notre Dame. Notre Dame's Jack Whalen intercepts on the 15 and runs it back to the 21, and the Irish take over. That was intended for Tom Stolansky. Never reached him. Whalen went high in the air and got it for Notre Dame. And so Notre Dame again averts. That's the 5th chance that Texas has had today to score, and they have made good on one of them. Whalen, incidentally, comes from Miami, so you can guess what his hobby would be: boating, water skiing. All right, Neil Warden deployed way out to the left. The Irish have the ball. They lead 14-3, and they've had to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps to get here, too. It's a handoff this time to Johnny Latner. Latner crosses the 25 and goes to the 27. I think that Texas has asked for time. Let's wait and see. No, they haven't. We'd like to get a station break in, but I don't want to interrupt the play-by-play. We will, however, get a station break in the next time out or the next introduction.
Ohio State 14.
The Purdue-Ohio State score is being announced. We've given it to you, 21-14 in favor of Purdue. Guglielmi right down behind the center in a wing T formation. Guglielmi faking it, keeping it himself, trying to go around his own left end, and he is smothered down to the ground on the 29-yard line. And there's only 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining to be played. Notre Dame is now trying to run out the clock. And for the first time today, we see people going towards the exits. I think they're convinced. And I have never seen a game which was so one-sided for one team in one half and so completely one-sided for the other team in the second half. Notre Dame didn't have a chance in the first half, and Texas hasn't had one in the second. Warden way out right on that wing tee for Notre Dame again. And it's Guglielmi this time, not faking it, but giving to Latner. Latner stays on his feet, gets to the 40, and he's finally piled down as he goes to the 45-yard line, and it's a first down for Notre Dame. 2 minutes and a half remaining in the football game, and they, the Irish of Notre Dame, lead by a score of 14-3. Texas is throwing about its 7th defense right now at Notre Dame. It amounts to an 8-3 defense. Let's pull it call it a 6-1-4 right at the moment. Too much time between plays, I believe, for Notre Dame. They're going to be penalized 5 yards, and that gives us a chance to get our station break in. We pause 10 seconds for station identification. Back in Austin, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Stern speaking. Texas versus Notre Dame, and the Irish out in front, 2 touchdowns to 1 field goal. Warden deployed out right, Latimer out right, Latner out right. Latner comes in, takes the ball, plows up to the 45. There are 2 minutes remaining to be played, and Notre Dame has pulled themselves back from the very depths of despair. They could be nothing less than that at the end of the first half, for they were being outcharged, outfought, outplayed, outscored, out everything. In fact, they were just about out of the stadium. And they came back from that to score 2 touchdowns in the second half and as severely outplayed Texas as Texas outplayed them in the first half. Warden out to the left this time on the wing tee. Guglielmi right down behind the center. Guglielmi fakes to hand it off. He may still. He's running with it. He is run out of bounds. And he gets to the 43-yard line. And I think Mr. Guglielmi was hit pretty hard in the head. He's slow getting up, but he's all right. That kid is quite a ball player. Quite a ball player, Mr. Guglielmi. He takes his place logically with the great ball players that Notre Dame has had in that key quarterback slot. Now there's only 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining, and this is quite a win. I say it's quite a win because it will take a modern miracle to pull this one out of the fire for Texas with about 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining. For a team that was so hopelessly outclassed in the first period to have come back is really fine football. John Latner carrying. The ball is rolling around loosely. Latner finally goes back and falls on it on the Notre Dame 38-yard line, and I think it is recovered by Joe Heap, left halfback at Notre Dame. Baylor 31. Final, Baylor 31, Washington State 7. Third period, Nebraska 22, Iowa State nothing. So it is 4th down coming up, 15 yards to go, and Notre Dame goes back into a huddle, and they're going to take all of that 25 seconds. There is 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining to be played in the ball game. Delaying the game cost Notre Dame another 5. They will take all those penalties they want to throw at them because they are going to take every second now. You know, we've been raving about Notre Dame. You certainly have got to say something for this Texas team. They were playing an inspired team in the second half. It is now John Latner booting it. Latner kicks it up in the air. Waiting to take it is Gib Dawson. Dawson lets it get away from him. And there are 2 Notre Dame men down on the field injured on that play, both slowly getting back up to their feet. And as they get back to their feet, Tommy Seaman was one of them, incidentally. Art Hunter was the other, both getting back slowly. They are tired. Less than a minute left to play. It is Texas ball, 1st and 10 on their own 29-yard line. And there are only 44 seconds remaining in the ball game. And you know that Mr. Jones is going to toss it around in these remaining 40 seconds. So Notre Dame has got a 5-man line and 6 men deployed way deep because they know that Texas now, one chance lies in the air. And it is Mr. Jones going back to throw it. He can't find anybody to throw it to. He's coming up the field up to the 30, the 35, the 40. The 45 stays on his feet, and he's driven out of bounds on the Texas 47-yard line. He brought it up to the 47. A run like that is possible because the entire defense is so deep, waiting for a pass, they've got to sprint up to intercept the ball carrier when they see that he's not going to throw it. He tried to throw it, couldn't find anybody open. Those 6 men that were back defending for Notre Dame were covering every available receiver, every eligible receiver, and there are now 25 seconds remaining in the ball game, and Notre Dame is leading 14-3. Out of the huddle comes Texas. They run back to the line. And Notre Dame's defense, it's a 5-man line, and the 6 men are way back. They're anywhere from 10 to 20 yards back of the line. They know that it's got to be a pass. There goes a long, long Texas pass, and it's intercepted by Notre Dame. Intercepted by Dan Shannon. Shannon takes it on the 30 and runs it back to the Notre Dame 40. He's knocked out of bounds on the 42, and that stops the clock with 16 seconds remaining in the ball game. Notre Dame takes over, and one more play, it'll be all over. They can run the clock out. They've got 25 seconds to get off a play, and there's only 16 seconds. And this has to go down as a great win for them and a sad day for Texas in that they had the better of the going in the first half but couldn't hold Notre Dame once they had them. You know, you can say so much for Notre Dame today, but you can say just as much for Texas. This is a heartbreaking experience to have beat the most highly, or rather have beaten the most highly publicized team in the country, Notre Dame, in the first half. It's like having your foot on a vanquished gentleman's neck and then suddenly lifting it off. And that's just the position they were in at the halftime. A quarterback sneak by Guglielmi. They're running the clock out now. He goes right to the center. They're not even going to take a chance on a fumble. He picks up about 2 yards. There's a flag on the play which stops the clock with 11 seconds remaining to be played. But never once have the Longhorns let up in spirit. They have been outcharged, now fought and pushed around. Offside, both teams. Both sides offside. 11 seconds remaining in the game, so the down remains the same. First down. Again, a quarterback sneak. Guglielmi taking no chances on a fumble. And now there are 10 seconds, 9 seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. And that's the end of the game, and the final score is Notre Dame 14, Texas 3. I'll be back with the final wrap-up in just a moment. The Texas band marching proudly off the field, and you might say to yourself, what have they got to be proud of? Well, I want to answer the question by saying they've got a great deal to be proud of. Texas in defeat, believe me, was far from being disgraced. This is a splendid, fighting team, the Texan team, and in the very first half, they had by far the better of the going. In fact, I can never remember a football game, and Moose Krause, the athletic director of Notre Dame, who came on this microphone at halftime, said that in all the years he's been watching Notre Dame play football, he had never seen a Notre Dame team fail to get over the midfield stripe in one half of a game. The first half